drip that gathered in the soft vessel of her hips, her womb like a bag of silk suspended from it, gathering and sending out at the same time, the girl's breath lengthening and deepening, her back arching and straightening with the steady movement of water. Good, good. It went on like this for a long time, a steady but changing movement, a pleasure which spread until her own vision changed, until she felt nearly blind and deaf, until she went beyond where all sound merged and heightened and... She could see the birds in the next island. She could see a fish swimming in the sea down near the shore. She could see the stars in the sky waiting to come out even though it was only morning. When that quiet point came, where everything was still and seemed it would stay still forever, the priestess looked steadily into the girl's eyes and took her hands, which were still on the priestess's hips, and moved them to her heart, still beating with her breath. She brushed her hands lightly down the young girl's arms 3 times before sitting. After a long, timeless time, the priestess spoke. Now you know how to hold your hips. That is the starting point of love. In the afternoon, the girl could lie and dream under the trees like the other girls did, looking at the sky or bathing in the pool in the side chamber. They didn't work during this time, just lay around, filling themselves with sounds and smells of the world around them. The inner part of the temple was where her interest lay. This is where the older women would receive the men after they had been bathed and massaged by the younger ones. What will it be like? She would whisper to the priestess. But the priestess was always tired and not wanting to talk. It will just be something you will do, she would say, like feeding the goat or milking the cow. The girl had never milked a cow, so she wasn't sure what that meant. They would come from all over, sailors and travellers and others that no one knew. Such gifts they brought for them: sweetened stewed calf, diced and cooked with plums, crispy goat skin and hung baby rabbits, their feet tied with silk, and the sweetest fruits they could find: grapes, oranges, wines infused with herbs. Gifts from their wives too, garments of sackcloth made for their daily wear, plaited reed headdresses painted with dried, crushed berries, and more, much, much more. The young women jingled as they walked to greet the men. And the men followed them and were given a bath together in the lower outer chamber in rose rock salt until their bodies quietened a little. It was the younger women's job to prepare them, to slow them down, unwinding them as if uncoiling a metal snake. When the men were teased and silent, they could leave the bath and go to the inner chamber, where the older women, the priestesses, waited.
This was a special day, the last of her preparation. The women gathered as the full moon rounded like a pregnant belly. Under the sky, their skin began to shine. Before they brought the girl down to meet Great Mother, they brushed her hair with ash and painted her feet. One of the women showed her how to paint 2 eyes on her hips with crushed red berries so she could see better when she lay down in the earth. Great Mother sat in the lower temple, a low hum coming from her, which grew and travelled out of the top of the chamber. Mary, the medicine woman, gave the girl a sweet, strong black drink and told her to lie down while the priestess continued with her hair, pulling it this way and that, using combs and small sticks to keep it in place while she twisted. She brushed it with gold and gemstone powder and buried rose petals in the bun. She twisted it into an intricate pattern around the girl's head, her ear, and the nape of her neck. When that was finished, Mary told the girl to rise, and all the women walked with her in silence down to Great Mother. Mary pointed to the path, which had been walked many times, and pointed out the lower temple, which resembled a woman's face looking out to sea. They walked down the twisted path as the sun was melting across the sky.
Silence filled the girl's body as she stood outside the enormous solid door. When Great Mother commanded her to enter, She felt she was walking through something narrow, and the pale cream-yellow stone scuffed her dress a little. Great Mother sat cross-legged and looked at her intently. There was a red reed blanket in front of her, which she invited the girl to sit on. Great Mother took an arm as long as an oak tree from her belly, the other one still resting there, and pulled it out for the girl to kiss it. The girl kissed Great Mother's palm, and though it looked as rough as sun-dried rock cracked by the heat, it was as smooth as baby calf skin. Great Mother put her palm on the girl's head. The girl had thought that massive hand would be heavy, but it was very light. The warmth of her palm spread down the young woman's back and spine and down her legs, and they sat in silence as full as the moon. "You are a vision of beauty," said Great Mother. "More importantly, you have been working hard and learning well, and you show promise for the act of worship you have been training for. To contain love and to allow it to flow through its avenues. The Goddess loves you, and now it is time for you to share that love with those who need it outside of here." The girl was not sure she understood, but the pleasure she had felt over the last weeks persuaded her that Great Mother was right, and that by serving the Goddess in this way she was doing what was best for her and those around her. Great Mother began talking in a low, rumbling voice, a prayer of health for the girl, and the others sang with her. Soon the temple was filled with sound echoing from wall to wall until there was not a crevice that was not filled with it. The sound entered the girl's body. The women brought her to recline, and while the priestess cradled the girl's back, Mary unwrapped a small swan feather bound to a stick and inserted it between the girl's legs into the darkest place. She made a steady, deft movement and told the girl to breathe into it. When she took it out, it was covered in blood. The women rubbed the girl's legs as she reclined further and closed her eyes, letting their singing retreat into her dreams. She felt herself breathe as if for the first time. Sweet Virgin, I still hold you in secret. I see your smile under your holy gaze. By the river I bathe monthly to bring you back. I wash your shame away. I wash your shame